Hey humans, JT James here with a little companion video to go with my latest blog post. You can find it at djworld.ca. I thought I'd give you a little rundown on what you're going to find there. If you clicked on this video, chances are perhaps you've been struggling with some things. I've been a professional DJ for 15, 20 years. I've done tons of gigs, and I spent the last 5 years doing it sober. And it wasn't an easy feat to get to, but I managed to get there, and I wanted to share some of the pillars of how I got to where I did, how I was able to, get some success in this field and move on from the lifestyle that can pretty much accompany any career in music or DJing or anything else really. When we're DJs, we're in nightclubs a lot. They sell liquor there. You're doing a wedding, they're selling liquor there. You're doing a big festival, they're selling liquor there. You can't really escape it. I learned that even working at a recording studio. The artists there are going to be partying. It's just one of the things that you got to deal with when you're a DJ. So I'm hoping that I can pass this along to other DJs, so perhaps it can help you in your journey. Sorry for saying that. Anyways, so it's a fun little acronym. I like to call I'm going to call the segment Jim's Acronyms. And basically, it is HEART. H-E-A-R-T. So what does HEART mean? Well, let's start with the H. H stands for help. You got to get some help. Honestly, if you got a serious enough problem, you're watching this video, or you've talked to other people about it, you've just had enough. Honestly, you need to try to get some experts to help you with that. Now, that might just be a friend that has gotten past it and managed to rid it from their lives and improve their lives, or it could be your doctor, it could be your parents, it could be your sibling. You just need to call somebody, get a hold of somebody that can help you get down the right path. Doing it by yourself will probably never work. So enlist those people. That is the help that you can get. You can get that through a 12-step group, you can get that through your doctor, or through a drug and alcohol counselor, but I highly suggest you start there. Now, number 2, that's the E, that's exercise. That was huge for me. I needed something to help me with the anxiety, the different negative emotions I was feeling, and it started out something as simple as this. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Leave your house, walk in a pretty brisk manner. When the timer goes off, turn around, come back. That right there, that's 40 minutes. If you can do that 4 or 5 times a week, that could be where you start to build your baseline for exercise. I eventually got into hot yoga, snowboarding. I got back into doing that, playing basketball, the beach, hitting the gym, whatever. Just try to develop that routine. Studies suggest if you can get into that and do it for 6 months, you'll probably do it for the rest of your life. Now, the third is A. That's the air component. Now, meditation is extremely helpful for alleviating some of the negative side effects of the withdrawal symptoms and just the general mental malaise you can get when you try to go down this path. So if you can start by just being quiet, for 2 minutes, close your eyes. I do this first thing in the morning. It took me years to develop it, and through doing yoga, it kind of really helped me, push me in that direction. But honestly, I got this Fitbit thing here. It's got a setting, hit it for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and then I'll just sit in silence. I got my phone off so no one interrupts me. That's very key. Now, the fourth component, that is responsibility and routine. That's the R in HEART. Now, if you have been shying away from responsibility because, whether your addiction or everything is just too much for you to handle, I think you'll find once you rid that from your life or start moving away from it, the more things you can fill your life with, the more successful you'll be. So if you can get a volunteer position, I strongly suggest volunteering with a charity or anything, even with like a group therapy. If you volunteer to go set up the chairs at the beginning of a meeting or something, it definitely helps. It'll help with the social aspect too. You'll meet new people doing these things. You'll meet new friends that are possibly more positive that you can build into your network, and that is really key. So having that responsibility and routine, don't be afraid of shying away from extra responsibilities at work or anything else. You got to fill this time with stuff. You spend a lot of time just drinking your face off, and that can really alleviate some things and fill up your time, but honestly, you need to start filling it with positive things. So having some responsibility and then building a routine, whether it's a morning routine, an afternoon routine, or something you do before you go to bed. When you have a routine in your life, those decisions, the less decisions you have to make, the easier it'll be. It can really alleviate anxiety, and I've found that in the last couple of years, that trying to develop a routine. Right now I just have a really good morning one. I'm trying to develop it in other areas of my life because I really feel how it's very, very useful. Now that's the R in heart. Now the T, last one, that's the time. Now you want to build this buffer. You know, they say that, especially with alcoholism, there's two components. There's the physical and the mental. And the physical is the craving. You have one drink and you just can't really limit how many more you're gonna have. Now once that's gone, usually after a couple weeks, it's usually the second component that brings people down, that has them relapse, and then they have incredible trouble trying to get out of those patterns again. And that is that little voice in your head that tells you that this next time it's gonna be different. Newsflash, it ain't gonna be different. Gotta rewind that tape, man. This is like the insanity part. And like I said, it is what really takes a lot of people down. So having that time, that buffer zone, once you get past, you know, for me it was like 6 or 7 months, it was really hard. But after that, it really builds this buffer zone that you don't wanna jeopardize this time you have. It's a huge factor. That's why even going out, you know, some people will make the mistake of going to think they can have one at this time when that subtle insanity comes back. And I can tell you that just having that one, I tried it, I did it. I had one, I proved it to myself. I felt horrible for the rest of the day, but I did it. And then 2 weeks later, I was off and running again. So it will plant a seed. So that's why, you know, the abstinence factor is extremely important. So that is very, very key. And that is with your time. That's your time out. That's your clean time. Now also, don't be afraid to take a time out from things. If you're in a situation you don't like, walk away. If you're around people that make you feel a certain way that you know is negative, walk away. You can always leave. Don't be afraid to leave. Don't be afraid to take time for yourself. Don't be afraid to turn that phone off when life's getting a little bit too much. You gotta practice self-care. And then I'm gonna end it, we're gonna take it from a singular heart to a plural hearts. The social aspect. You got to try to find people to build into your network that are positive, that are working in the same direction as you. The social aspect of addiction is huge. That's why 12-step therapies work a lot, because you're in a group, you're meeting new people that are on the same path as you, they want the same things, and then you're helping build these new relationships. Now it could be as simple as once or twice a week you give a friend a call to see how they're doing, tell them how you're doing. You know, build these social relationships, and don't always be calling just when your life's in crisis. Try to, you know, call them when things are good too, because that builds the foundation of a really good and solid relationship. I hope that helps out. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and hit me up on my blog, djworld.ca.